welcome to you all, and obviously to all those lovely new subscribers that have subscribed to the channel. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, because the notification bell will tell you when I've uploaded a new video so we don't miss anything. What to talk about, what to tell you? Well, so much has happened since the last time we chatted. So the last update that I did was September's update. So this is basically October's update. It's slightly before the end of October. It's the 25th of October. But if I don't do this video now, it won't happen because there's just too much going on currently. But since I last spoke to you, the last time I spoke to you, I told you I had a dance competition coming up, I think the following day. Very good result at the dance competition. I came first in the Latin and third in the ballroom, so I was super happy about that. I also mentioned that I was going to the Stitching and Knitting show at Ali Pally, that's Alexandra Palace here in London. I went to that, met up with the lovely Mary Perkins, had a wonderful time. I did say that I was going to upload footage and pictures so that I could show you all the goodies. Unfortunately, unbeknownst to me, because it was the first time I've ever gone to one of these things, a lot of the designers and suppliers and vendors don't like you to do video footage or pictures. In fact, some of them were actually really quite rude about it, in the respect that I wasn't actually taking pictures or footage of them and their stalls. It was just I was doing a pan of the whole thing so that you could sort of see, like, wow, look at all these stall things, but not any one specific. A lot of them were like, no pictures, no footage. Apparently, it appears that the reason they don't allow you to take pictures of the designs and the stands is because of people trying to copy their work. But I didn't quite understand that, because it's like if you go to a store or you go on an Etsy store or you go onto their website, then the pictures are on there anyway. So if you was actually going to try and copy their designs, you would do it anyway. Me putting a picture on Flosstube or uploading a bit of footage of the stands and how they finished it, I don't think causes that. I don't know. I don't understand it. But that said, you have to respect their wishes. Where I've got a little bit of footage where I was allowed to take footage, then obviously I'll put it in throughout the course of this video. But a lot of the footage that I took was a bit too bitty and piecey and not really of any relevance of things that I could show you. So where I've got something to show you, then I will show you. I still had a wonderful time. It was really wonderful. I'll definitely go again. It should come with an enabler warning, you know. Come at your own risk, because you just fall down so many rabbit holes. So I have got like an array of stuff that's like right here. So, and I'm also mindful that there's a lot of you that don't necessarily like watching people and all their new goodies. So I think the way to do this video this month is to start with my whips, and we'll just filter bits and pieces in as we go along. So this is likely to be a very long video. So if you like a long video, then you're gonna love this. So where to start? Let's start with a whip update for October. So my trusty little book, for those of you that have been with me for some time, and you know I have my little stitching journal, and I would love to say that it is fully up to date. It sort of was-ish. So it's sort of about right. But when I say it's sort of about right, it is literally just sort of about right. I tried to track as many of the projects as I could as what I've stitched on this month, but it was a bit hit and miss. After I come back from the Stitching and Knitting show, I came down with this really awful, horrible cough, cold, flu-y type thing, and it laid me up for nearly a week. I'm still getting over it, as you can tell. So yeah, so although I was sort of stitching, I was doing a bit and stopping for a bit. So yeah, where I've got something tracked, I will tell you how much I've spent time on it. but I wouldn't say it's necessarily as accurate as it normally would be. So where to start? It's like I've just got all this stuff here. I don't know where to start. My Peacocks Lagoon, again, Heaven and Earth design. I'm not going to say the name of the artist because I will butcher it. But here is what it will look like when it's done. And this one, I believe I stitched on 4 days at least, but obviously not 4 straight days. Oh, so here it is. Now it won't really look like I've done a lot, but I have. It's just that it was sort of confetti heaven. So here is where we've got to. As you can see, I've been stitching more on the moon. So all this section here is all new. I'm loving how it's coming out, but it is a little slow going, I have to say, on the moon. Ooh, I'm swinging about here. A little slow going, but this one is being stitched on a 25 count tent stitch, 2 strands, and I think the coverage is perfect for that. So that is my lovely Peacocks Lagoon. Okay, we're going to put you over there because you're big. Next, flying through the whips, people. What's next? And then, what else did we work on? We also worked on my lovely Andromeda. And I think I only stitched 2 days on this one. So this is the Mirabilia Andromeda. This is what she'll look like. Now, I did sort of put her into timeout because I wasn't overly happy with her face, because her face wasn't going according to plan. But I thought, you know what? I'm going to stitch the rest of her and then I'll go back and worry about what I'm going to do with her face afterwards, if anything at all. I might just leave her to be a rather unpleasant looking young lady. Who knows? Who knows what will end up. Now, there's lots of like dangling threads on this one, where I just couldn't bother to finish anything off. So where I've got footage of where you last saw it, obviously I'll put that in. And this is where we have got to. So as you can see, the face just looks like she got smushed. I'm not quite sure what happened to her face. And I have been working on the ribbon area down here, some more of the black work, and also worked over in this space here and did some more of that. So yeah, so there we go. The gaps there are for beads and some back stitch needs to go in there. But yeah, so we did a little bit on her. So I think I just need to sort her face out and I'll be a bit happier with her. But I thought, you know what, that's something I can quite easily go back and revisit if need be. I'm sure there's a way that I can rectify the face. Maybe it's because I'm sort of studying the face too much. But even when I showed it before, when I said that I was a bit concerned that there's something not quite right with her chin and her nose, people did say no, her nose and her chin do look a little strange, Teresa. So yeah, so there's a little bit of tweaking that will need to go on with her, but rather than just dismiss it completely, I've decided that we will, you know, it's fixable. We can fix it. And then what else did we work on? So then we worked on the lovely Alternative Reality by Josephine Wall. Again, a Heaven and Earth design. Here is what it will look like when it is finished. How many days did we give this one? I think this one's only had 1 day, actually. I think I've only rotated this out in the last day or so, and I think I've only stitched on it for one day. So this is where we've got to. So as you can see, I'm so excited to sort of, this is the top of her head in the picture, so let me show you. So on the picture, this bit here, that section there, is this section here. But I've gone back up here and I've started to work that section. But yeah, so coming along nicely, but very slow going as always. This one is stitched on 25 count 1/1 full cross. So that's currently what I'm stitching at the moment. So I'll put that over there. What else? Also, I worked a little more on my shades of blue. So this is what it will look like. And this one is by, so this is the canvas work. She says, who's it by? From Nancy's Needles. That's who it's by. It's going well, people. I'm remembering what I'm stitching on. So this one, how many days did I stitch on this? So Shades of Winter got 1, 2, I think only 2 days. 2 days of stitching. But this is the one that I sort of do when I'm sort of laying in bed, if I'm honest. And here is where we got to. Let's put something behind it. So yeah, we're getting there slowly with this one. But it's one of those ones that at the moment I think, because I'm like, I'm not sure that I'm enjoying doing it very much. Purely I think because of the threads. I'm struggling with some of these threads and the angles and stuff, but yeah. I'm not going to stop. It's just getting used to it, that's all. And then lastly for the whips, see I told you we was going to whiz through these, didn't I? Lastly for the whips, my lovely Evening in the Park. Now I did say that when I was stitching on this I was going to try and make it a bit of a focus piece. I wouldn't say I've necessarily made it a focus piece. Purely because I've just fell down loads of rabbit holes and got myself involved with all sorts of weird and wonderful things. So Evening in the Park has had 4 days of stitching, but I did say that I was going to, because when I was at the retreat I spoke to Michelle, who's actually already stitched this piece up, and she did forewarn me that the trees at the top can be a little tiresome. So she advised that the best thing to do probably would not be to do it all and then just go and do all of the trees and all the lanterns around the outside. So I did say I was going to work across the top and then work my way so that I didn't just end up doing the same thing over and over and over again. So this is where I got to. So exciting. So as you can see, I have stitched since the last time. I stitched the other side completely of the gate, and then I have started on the lanterns, the tree, and another lantern, and I'll work my way to here and then probably go and start doing this section over here. So I think my plan is that I don't want to end up doing just the same thing over and over and over again, because I will struggle to be able to cope with that. So this I think I'm going to do in certain sections. I mean, as you can see, I've done these 2 corners here. They still need to be done down here, but I think I think that's how I'm going to have to do it. So I'll do like bits. So for instance, this bit here, I'll probably mimic over here, and then maybe do these trees over this side, then come down and do these sides and work my way down the design so that I don't just end up doing the same thing. But I love those lanterns and the tree. Absolutely love it. I don't know whether you can see the sparkles. As you can see, this bit I've beaded. There's beads to go in here. I haven't done the beading yet. But absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. There's just so much to go. When you look at it and you're thinking, God, it's getting so close to a finish. But in actual fact, on these, it's not. You're still miles away. Purely because of the sheer size and amount of stuff that goes into them. So, but I absolutely love this piece. And it will get there. So there you go. So the lovely evening in the park has had a bit more love. But like I say, it is one of those things that once you've done the same thing sort of 2 or 3 times, it's like, yeah, okay, I need to move to a different section. So I'm just going to randomly pick sections to go to just so that I can change it up. But really, really love this, but I can't wait to have it completed. I can't wait to get it finished. I just want it on the wall now. So that is the whips, people. There, that was painless, wasn't it? She says. Now for a new start. Oops. Yeah, I know. I know. As if I need a new start. There's stuff that I haven't even managed to stitch on because there's just not enough hours in the day. But whilst I was at the stitching and knitting show, I fell down another rabbit hole. And I've spoken about this company before, purely on the website that I've seen, but I've actually been there, and at the Stitching and Knitting show, they were there. It's called the West End Embroidery. They deal mainly in canvas work and specialised threads. Here's their little brochure thing. But they do a lot of the threads that we deal with. So the Krennic metallic threads, the over-dried stranded cottons and pearls for the thread works. They do vineyard silks. They do Avera Schwa stranded silk and silk pearl. They do plant earth fibres. They do Weeks dye work stranded cotton. They do the Gentle Art sampler threads and simple shakers. They do needlepoint silks, and they do the Gloriana stranded silk. So they're a bit of a go-to people for me to get the some of the threads that I like. They also do a lot of the loopy-loo designs, which you know that I do really, really like. But after seeing some of the wonderful designs that they actually produce themselves, I fell down the rabbit hole. Totally. Couldn't help myself. It is a canvas work. And it came as a kit. So you get the canvas. And then you get all your threads in the pack. And when I saw it, I'll input some footage momentarily after I've shown you this design and some of the other designs that they do. And you'll understand why I sort of couldn't resist myself. But they had one that was called Arabesque Rose. Is it Arabesque? Arabesque Rose. And they did it in various different colours. So there's just 3 of the colours, and then obviously there's a 4th colour. Both me and Mary sort of fell over ourselves that we had to buy this. Obviously Mary went with the dual coloured one. I went with the more subdued colour. So I actually went for the violet colour, which is this one here. The instructions are really good. They're all in colour. Because I like the look of it so much, I couldn't help myself. I had to start it. see if I can put something behind it to... And here is where I got to on this one. And this one had, what did this have? 2 evenings this got. Literally that bit in the centre there I had done in like less than an hour. And absolutely love it. Really, really love it. So yeah, so another canvas work. See what I mean? See how easily I stray? So I've totally strayed, but I love it. I mean, it's got, I mean, literally, it's got beads on there. It's got krennic on there. I don't know if you can see the shine. Can you see the sparkles? I don't know how much you can see. I hope you can see some of the sparkles. But yeah, absolutely love that one. And stitching up really, really fast. Like really, really fast. But yeah, so ended up with a new start, of which was purchased at the Stitching and Knitting show. Like I said, I fell down a few rabbit holes and got totally enabled. And then it's like, I want to stitch everything. I want to do everything. It's so bad. About now, I will put in the footage of all the lovely designs. They did allow me to take some video footage of their stand. They're not a store that you can visit. They are an online store. So I'll input that here. Okay, so that is the stitching and the new starts. Goodies. Goodies, people. So also, whilst I was at the Stitching and Knitting show, I picked up, like I said, from West End Embroidery. They had one of the new Loopy-Loo designs in, called Lazy Hazy Days. So I couldn't resist myself, and I bought the whole kit. So that is the design. It comes with little pink bicones there. It looks like it is predominantly mostly hard hanger with what looks to be a little bit of drawn thread, maybe. Here's the thread packs that it came with, and I just bought a bit of antique white 28 count Brittany to do that one on. So there is another project to be kitted. Well, it is kitted up, all the ready to go, because it would be rude not to. So yeah, as you can see, so much beautiful, so many beautiful designs. It was just, there was just so much, so much. I actually went to the, when I decided that I was going to the Stitching and Knitting show at Ali Pally, I decided that I wanted to leave early because I wanted to be able to do one of the classes, you know, the 1 hour sit down, learn something new. And I decided that I would go to the ribbon embroidery one, because I've got some designs that have ribbon embroidery on them. I thought they were probably the best one, or one of the best sort of learning events that I could go to, because I wanted to make sure before I actually started tackling the ones that I've got, that I do actually know what I'm doing. I know I can just look at YouTube and, you know, it can't be that difficult. But since I was going to the Stitching and Knitting show, and they did show you how to do it, there was a lovely lady, Molly Brown's Emporium. Here's her little card. She was there. She was the one that actually done the breakfast club. The one that I actually did was at like 8:30 in the morning. It was a perfect opportunity to get there early, park the car without any problems, go to the breakfast club. They supplied us with a cup of coffee and a bit of breakfast before we started. You did the hour, and even after you'd actually finished, the Stitching and Knitting show hadn't officially opened, which was great because that then gave me half an hour or 40 minutes of walking around with very few people there so that I could actually see lots of stuff. I will definitely do that again next year because I will definitely go back. But I will definitely make sure that I do the breakfast club so that way I can get in there early, learn something new, and then have the opportunity to sort of wander around at my leisure before the crowds get in. So I can already hear you saying, so what did you do, Teresa? Well, here it is. Now, don't judge people. This is my first time doing it, and it was really rushed. It was like done within an hour. But here is my little bit of first time ribbon embroidery. It's probably far from perfect, but it gave me the concept of what I need to know, I think. So yeah, there it is. Like I say, it was done very, very fast, but it was very, very good, very worth going, very worth sort of doing the hour little tutorial session. And I learned something new so that I can apply it to my projects that I've actually got at home. So I was so happy that I decided to do that, but I'll definitely do it again. Didn't have any problems parking, no problems getting there, no queuing. Fabulous, favourite, absolutely fabulous. What else to tell you? What else was there? There was a lady there that does these gorgeous... Oh no, I've just dropped it on the floor, would you believe? Stay there, people. There was a lady there that done these really, really lovely hoops. And the name of her store is Happy Hoopla... Hang on. happyhooplahoops.etsy.com. So... that's the name of her Etsy store. She had a lovely stand there. Again, she was one of the ones that was happy for me to take some video footage, which I will put in momentarily. But she does all of these really, really lovely covered hoops. So here's one of the bigger ones. They did do the smaller ones with just the little screws. So here's the hoops. And they're all covered in Liberty fabric. Of course, the camera has to die, as always. The best thing that I loved about these was not only does she do the hoops that have come in all these different lovely finished fabrics, but she also does these, which are like little backs made with love. So that you can stitch a project, put it into here. It comes with instructions of how to do it. So she gives you like a little instruction thing of how you finish it. And then you can stick this on the back. And it's either a lovely gift or a lovely way of finishing your project. Obviously, I got completely suckered into that. And I'll definitely go and buy some more. For those little projects where they could be finished in a hoop, I think these are perfect, absolutely perfect. But there was just so many wonderful, wonderful, gorgeous hoops, oval hoops, round hoops. I'll put the clip here so that you can see what I mean. So get some of that then, because they'll appreciate the niceness. some hoops.
Yeah, I might be here a while.
I was saying it's nice on a Sunday for people to have the room and
Listen space, yeah.
It's just too gorgeous. Look at those fabrics. The hoops. Do you see what I mean? You just, they're lovely. They're absolutely gorgeous. So Chris fell down that rabbit hole. Absolutely fell down that rabbit hole. Right, what's next? I must admit, going to the Stitching and Knitting show has definitely opened my eyes to a lot of different things. I mean, and I'm really pleased that I picked up the Stitching and Knitting show guide, because it's also got all of the vendors in here, so that, you know, if there was people that you saw there, I've got some sort of reference, or a little reminder, because there was just so much to see. So much to see. So also, whilst I was at the Stitching and Knitting show, I picked up a Crafter's Carryall quilting pattern. So here it is. Sorry about the glare. There's a little story that goes with this. So there was a lovely lady called Susie. Just so happened that she's very local to me. I was actually looking at the made version of this, but it was in a, I don't know, it was in a fabric that really was not of my choice. It had a little, I don't know, little men on it, little workmen or something, which is not really my bag at all, but it was, I liked the fact that it had lots of pockets in it, and I was thinking that's either perfect for my stitching, or even now that I'm down the rabbit hole of doing a bit of knitting, I was like, it's a perfect place to store my knitting. So I was like, well, can I buy these? But buy it in a different fabric. And she said, no. She said, that's the only one that we do, or the only one that we've got. She said, but you can buy the pattern and make it yourself. And I was like, oh, I don't really think that's me. She was like, well, can you sew in a straight line? You've got a sewing machine. Can you sew in a straight line? So I was like, well, yeah, I think so. She went, well, if you can sew in a straight line, you can make this. She said, it's just straight lines. So I was like, well, I don't know about that. Unbeknownst to me, she actually recognised me from Flosstube. So when she said, you're Teresa Little Stitcher, aren't you? And I was just like, yes. Like, how would you know that? She was like, I watch your videos. So hello, Susie. Thank you so much for chatting to me and to offer me your services. So obviously when we was then having a bit of a laugh and a giggle about making one of these, and I was like, I know I do stitching and I do Flosstube, but I'm not quite sure I'm going to be very good at doing this. So she basically gave me a telephone number and said to me that if I get stuck or I need any help, she's more than happy to come and help me make this. So she also reminded me that there was a local place, I think it was called the Barn or the Lodge, where I could go and look for the fabrics to make this. So yeah, I am super, super grateful to Susie for saying hello and that you watch my Flosstube videos, and two, for offering to help me. Don't get me wrong, you're probably going to wish you never gave me your telephone number now, because likelihoods are I will be in touch, because I will need some help to do this. We've connected on Facebook as well, which is great. So yeah, Susie, I'm so going to need your help with this. But I really, really would like to make it. So if I can make it, I would really like to make it. What else to tell you? So I was actually really quite reserved when it came to a lot of the stitching stuff, purely because I've already got so much stitching stuff. I didn't really want to go mental and buy lots of stuff that I didn't really need. But now that I know what's there, my viewpoint was, well, you know, this time next year I might be in a position that actually I can buy lots of new goodies, because I might have finished loads of stuff. Yeah, right, I know. It's a nice thought. So I thought, well, I don't want to go crazy and buy lots of stuff, because there's only so much stuff that I'm ever going to be able to stitch. But one thing that I couldn't pass up, I've always been rather wowed by crewel work. Never thought that it was something that I would try or do, but after seeing some of the designs there, because obviously they did do, there was a designer there called Dizzy and Creative, and they did the Crewel work embroidery, and they done these kits. Now, it's far from cheap, but you'll see what I mean when you see this. So I ended up falling down this rabbit hole, but when you see this you will understand why I fell down the rabbit hole. Look at that shoe. What is not to like about the shoe? So when I saw it, I was like, I have to have it. I have to. And because it came as a kit, and she assured me that these kits are designed for people that have just done a bit of stitching. You know, you haven't got to be a complete professional. She said the instructions have been created so that, you know, they're very easy to follow, very step-by-step guide. We'll see about that, won't we? So, comes lovely packaged. Here it is. Absolutely lovely packaged. But when I opened this, now apparently it's something called Irish linen. And I have to say, I was sort of wowed by this because of how thick and weighty this material is. So when we say linen, we're talking like normal thin linen. This isn't. This is like, look at the thickness. If I sort of do this, look at the thickness of that linen. It is. And it's fluffy. It's fluffy and it's thick. And then on the front, it's actually got the design of the shoe pre-printed on it. Can you see that? Let me bring you a bit closer. So it's all pre-printed, thankfully, for ease. But it's the sheer weight of that linen, that Irish linen. It's not like linen as we know it. It is super thick. And then apparently you stitch with Appleton's wool with this design. So here's all my wools. Beautiful colours. But it is very thick. It is wool. And obviously that's new to me because I've not, you know, the most I've ever stitched on other than normal floss and obviously silk threads is all to do with cross stitch or embroidery type, not this type of stuff, not like big thick wool. So yeah, so I'm quite keen to give this a go. But although they said that the instructions were created so that, you know, they'll be easy to follow, I had a tiny look, she says. I had a tiny look at the instructions on this one. And I'm not sure that it's as easy as they might think it is. It sort of broke down into sections, so I think you sort of do a section at a time. But the bit that's a bit concerning is it's got left-hand direction, right-hand direction. I'm hoping that that's just showing me different directions. I mean, it's like a book. It's like a book of instructions. So yeah, so I mean, maybe once I actually sit down and read through this, it will make total sense. And that it's just the very, very thorough instructions, but it's like a book of instructions. But the fabric apparently is an Irish linen. I love the Irish linen, I've got to say. Just the thickness of it, it's so thick. But yeah, so I've got instructions. If I can make that shoe look like that, then yeah. I mean, that would just be so cool, wouldn't it? And I thought, well, what's the worst that can happen? You know, once again, yes, I am trying something new. It is completely out of my comfort zone. But I'm like, well, I thought the same when I'd started doing hard hanger. You know, when I started doing like the loopy-loo designs and the autumn promise, and I was like, you know, I don't know how far I'll get with it because it looks too intricate and it looks much harder than it is. But the one thing I found is with those things, although they look intricate and they look difficult, I haven't actually run into any serious problems with it yet. Not enough to stop me in my tracks. So my way of approaching this, I think, is going to be exactly the same. I'm like, well, what's the worst that can happen? The worst that can happen is that I go wrong. I unpick it. I put it in timeout. And maybe it never comes out again. But I won't know until I try it, will I? So yeah. So I'm just going to roll with it and try it and see what happens. Because it's the way I am. And I'm not even going to sit there and say, well, I'm not going to let it beat me. Sorry about the rustling, people. I need to pack it away beautifully. It's not even like I'm going to sit there and say, well, you know, I'm not going to let it beat me. Because it may well beat me. It very may well beat me. Something will at some point in time. But when it does, then obviously I'll know what I can do and what I'm capable of doing and what I'm not capable of doing. So another one to wait in the wings for when I fancy sort of, you know, getting out my comfort zone and doing something a little crazy. So yet again, something a little crazy. So I think that is it for the stitching stuff. As far as stitching stuff from the Stitching and Knitting show. What else did I buy? So whilst I was there was lots of yarns for knitting. And obviously, given that I've just started doing a spot of knitting, which I will show you momentarily, I did see some, I've always quite fancied the idea of doing socks. So I thought, well, they had this sock wool. So I bought some sock wool. So here it is. It's called, what's it called? Sheepies. Sheepies? Yeah, our tribe, sheepies wool. I just love the colours. Love those colours. And I've always quite fancied being able to do socks. I mean, not that I would ever stitch socks and give them away to start with, because, you know, I could only stitch my own socks to start with because I would be too frightened in case they just unravel whilst you're wearing them. So yeah, so I've got some sock wool that I like. And obviously I've got very small feet. I did think about maybe trying to knit some socks using the circular needles, but when I've looked and done a quick test, because my feet are so small, it doesn't fit on the circular needles, it's too small. So I have to do it on the 4 needles, on the double-ended needles, which then leads on to this other little rabbit hole situation. Back when I went to one of my stitching retreats years ago, and I'm talking like over 2 years ago, they done like a little who wants to learn how to stitch socks. So I bought all the stuff, sat there at the retreat and tried to do it with the double-ended needles, and was just like, I'm not doing this, I can't do it, because I couldn't do it. At the time I could not do it, no matter what I did. And I just said it's not for me. So I left the ladies doing that when I went back to my stitching. Well, it just so happens that after watching a YouTube video whilst I was knitting, and I saw someone, you know, they'd done like a demonstration of how to do it. This was the wool that I actually purchased to do those socks with at the stitching at the retreat years ago. But here is my little bit of sock that I started. So it's probably riddled with holes and doesn't look quite right, but I've started it. And I don't even know that I'll finish it, because I was just sort of thought I'll test this whole 4 needles thing, was my plan. And that is where I've got to. So rather than just sort of unravel it and stop and think, okay, well, when I'm ready to start, I thought, well, I'm just going to carry on then, because I don't think it looks too bad, does it? But I love the colours of the wool. So yeah, so I've got a partial sock. I mean, if once I actually get into the pattern, whether I can actually do it or not, I'm not sure, because this bit looks easy, but when it starts talking about getting to the heel and the sock down, toe up, and you know, German short heel thing, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to do it. But I thought, well, at least if I can learn how to, because obviously I can't stitch in the round on circular needles, which is what I wanted to do. I thought, well, at least I know how to use these double-ended needles now. So yeah, so I've started doing a sock without even realising I was doing a sock. But it was more because I liked this wool. This wool was the inspiration to that sock. So, yeah, see what I mean? Rabbit hole, totally gone. Also, whilst I was at the Stitching and Knitting show, they done these lovely little kits. Now, the lady assures me that these are really super easy shawls. And I ended up with this pattern. Here it is. And the lady's, it's Debonair Yarns. She assures me that it's an easy pattern to follow, but it came as like a little kit, and it comes with 2 different types of wool. So here's the card. Yeah, Erica Downs, debonairyarns.com. There you go, for anyone that's interested. That's the details. And it comes with this lovely wool here, which has got sequins that are already attached to the yarn. And then a glitter yarn, which has got bits of glitter in, but I love the colours. And this goes with this, like that. Now, apparently it's very easy how you knit this, and that to change the colour you just run this one or the other one behind. You run it behind, apparently. I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about. All I know is that she says that it's easy enough to stitch like a dual tone shawl using these 2, following her instructions. I'm a bit scared to look at the instructions, if I'm totally honest with you, but I was so wowed by the colours that I got it anyway. So even if I don't know now, I might have to call upon some friends. So some of the ladies from the retreat that have got like they do the knitting, they're the ones, their fault. They got me involved in doing this in the first place, with their weaving and their spinning and their, you know, yarn dyeing. Yes, it's all your fault, ladies, at the stitching retreat that have caused this problem. But they've actually got a little Facebook messaging group that's just all about knitting, so as not to upset the stitchers. And they friended me on that. So, I mean, I might be calling out to the girls to help me with this, how you do this. But yeah, I got wowed by the wool, so I couldn't help myself. So that was another thing that I got from the Stitching and Knitting show. What else to tell you? So update on my actual knitting. So for those of you that are friends with me on Instagram, you will know that I am still knitting my shawl. I don't think I'm doing too bad. I've only got 1 hole so far, so I don't think I've done too badly to be knitting for my first ever object and only get 1 hole. But here is where I got to. So here's my part of shawl, and I love the colours, very autumnal. Yeah, see, that's all right. Maybe I've got more than 1 hole. I think there might be 2 holes then. So I've got a hole there, which you can see, but it looks to be a secure hole, that one. And then there looks to be another little hole up here. So, okay, I've got more than one hole in it. But, yeah, I don't mind. It's only for me. I'm hoping there's a way I can fix the holes. I'm assured that there is. So yeah, so I'm working my way through on this. Love the wall, love the colours. Beautiful. And because I fell down another rabbit hole, people, that it was annoying me because I had the ball of wool in like a bag. And obviously I'm trying to sort of learn how to have some sort of tension. And I had to keep pulling at this ball of wool in the bag because it doesn't roll around. But then if you take it out the bag, it just rolled across the floor. And it was, I was chasing this wool across the living room. I couldn't help myself. Just look. What's not to like about my little ball bowl? I don't know what you call them. But look, it's pink. It's pink. It's got flowers on it. It was handmade. I purchased this from Etsy. I'll put a link below here. Because I can't remember for the life of me. I think it's YS something. But basically, I put my ball in there. So that way, when I pull it, the ball doesn't run away. It doesn't end up flying across the living room. And there's no resistance against the ball because obviously I was struggling with my tension because of it. And then what I do is, because obviously my shawl isn't big enough to sort of take up any amazing room, I just chuck it all in the bowl. Ready for the next sort of bit of knitting that I do. But I absolutely love this little bowl. Absolutely love it. Yeah, like I said, another rabbit hole, people. And I saw this and just had to get it. Again, I will post it. I got this from Etsy. I will put a link here below. I ended up purchasing a Knit Pro ring. Now, I don't know if this is an absolute gimmick, whether it actually works or not. But here it is, and it's got all the numbers on it so that you can count your rows. I haven't quite got to that because at the moment I've got 5 rows that I rotate. So I'm not counting rows down. I'm sort of have to keep changing what the line is that on the pattern that I'm doing. But when I get to the point that I need to, I don't know, do 20 rows, the idea is that you put this ring on and it counts the rows. But I must admit, I'm struggling to turn these things with it on my finger because I don't think my fingers are big enough for the ring. But it was just too cute not to buy. So I've got one anyway. So I bought it because I can. So I have a knitting row count thing. But to be honest, I think I probably will just go and get one where you just click a button and it just adds another row, that, you know, row counting. Because, yeah. Oh dear. I really do feel like I fell down this massive rabbit hole. I honestly do. What else to tell you? So you remember that I decided that I was going to do a long dog sampler. This is the one that I decided I was going to do. So it's Castles in the Air. This is the design. I'm still waiting for the fabric from Crafty Kitten. There's been no news at all about the fabric, so I'm not too sure what the SP is there. But I did order some silk threads from Silks For You, and I got a nice little needle minder that came with it. You wait till you see this. Look at that silk. So I've decided that the majority, so it's basically going to be like a dusky pink fabric. And then this is the main colour thread that I'll use, which is sort of all greys, like a variegated grey. It's just too nice. Absolutely love it. Love the variegation. I don't think, no. What number was it? So this hank of silk is PR 161. That's the colour from Silks for You. It's pretty true to life, to be honest, that you're seeing there. So now I'm just super excited about getting the fabric so that I can actually make a start on that. I'm just hoping that the fabric that I've chosen will go nicely with this grey. But I won't know that till it gets here. If not, it'll be back to the drawing board until I find a fabric that I do really like. So can't wait to start that one, but I'm really looking forward to starting that. I'd like to think that I could make that a new start for Christmas time. Personally. If I can restrain myself long enough for that. So that is that. And that is all the goodies that I've actually purchased. So now, the only bit left is Stitchy Kindness. So, my lovely friend Yasmin, I'm sorry, but this woman must have like the biggest stash in the world. Because she's already sent me a number of boxes of goodies. And she's done it again. So, apparently this is all stuff that she's not going to use. So she was like, Teresa, take out of it whatever would be of interest to you, and then, you know, share the love with the rest of the people. You know, at the retreats, you know, put it on the retreat table. So she's given me some lovely quilting cutters with an extra blade. Far too handy, Yasmin. What can I say? Nothing quite like a bit of fabric cutting. And then she's just, I don't even know what to say. There's just so many charts here. So we've got heartstring sampler, cross stitch nation. We've got a dimensions kit, music is harmony. A Riolas kit of London. And like I said, not all of these are going to be to my taste. So for the ones that are not for my taste, I'm either going to do giveaways with them, or I will take them to the retreats that I go to and put them on the table. What else have we got? The sewing sampler. This is the Stitching Shed cross stitch kit. See, now that isn't me, unfortunately. That's not something I'd stitch. Bothy Threads, the Enchanted Luna. There's a couple of Lizzie Kates. We've got Lizzie Kate, Let Them Be Small. And How to Be a Mean Mum. And then there's a book, American School of Needlework's cross stitch bookmarks. So there's all the different bookmarks. And then this is the bit that I couldn't believe. There's two gold collection dimension kits here. One's called Twilight Bridge. Sorry about the glare, people. And the other one is called Memory Lane. I couldn't believe it. So I'm like, Yasmin, are you sure, like, you know, have you got anything left in your cupboards? She was like, oh, I've got lots. She said, trust me. She said, I've got more than I know what to do with. So she assures me that she doesn't need these. But she has asked that, you know, I take from it as I wish for me, and then whatever I don't want, to share the love. So I will be sharing some love, people. Obviously I need to go through these and make some decisions of what I'm gonna, as if I need to make any more decisions than I've already made with everything else I've got going on. So there we go. So that is lovely Stitchy Kindness. So Yasmin, thank you so much for sharing as always, my lovely, and I will be sure to share that love with anyone else that is, you know, is needing some love. And on that note, I'm going to share some love right now. So I have some charts here that I will do a giveaway with. I've got so many bits and pieces now that I think what I'm going to try and do is every video I'm going to try and give something away and share the love and send something out to somebody else. It's so heartwarming receiving lovely gifts from people that if I can share stuff back, then I'd like to try and do that, especially since I've got so many different charts and stuff now that I know I'm not going to stitch, whether it be because I bought them and they're just not, you know, I just don't feel the love for them now, or whether they be that, you know, people have given them to me and they're just not my taste, but that doesn't mean that it isn't somebody else's taste. So we are going to do a little giveaway, people. Now, how are we going to do this? Obviously don't mention giveaway, but I'm going to do, oh, I don't know, how do we do it? How do we do it without telling everyone that we're doing it? Sod it. Just tell me which one you like if you are interested in one of these. So so the first one we've got is Plum Street Sampler. It's just the brochure. It's not in anything. It's the brochure like with the chart. Plum Street Sampler. Plum Street Sampler. Love One Another. Here's the design. So if you like that, then tell me you would like that. There will be 4 drawers for these. I will do a draw for each of them. The next one up is just a card. It's like one card. It's a hands-on design by Kathy Haberman, and it's called Christmas Eve. So if you like that, then you can ask me for Christmas Eve, and I will put you in the draw for that one. The next one is a Brenda Gervais Witches Night Out. Here's the design. So if you want Witches Night Out, then leave a comment below and let me know, and I will enter you in the draw for that one. And we've got Plum Street Sampler Gould Tidings, which is this one. And this one, she sent me the thread. I think it's just DMC. Yeah, they all look to just be DMC, but it's already bobbinated, and that goes with that. So if you would like Gould Tidings, then put in the comments below and I will enter you into the draw for that. So there's 4 giveaways there. There will be 4 draws. If you want to be entered into every single one of them, then let me know that you want to be entered into all of them, and I'll enter you into the draw. Okay, so I've got my... it does help if I'm a little bit more organised, isn't it, really? I'm not overly organised at the moment. Okay, so where are we? So today is the 25th of October. So we will give it until... I will give it until Sunday the 17th of November. Okay? Let me write that down so that I don't forget. So Sunday 17th November. I will do a draw and I'll upload a quick video to tell you who has won what. So Sunday the 17th of November will be the, I will do the draw for the giveaways, and then reach out to those winners, and then obviously I can get those in the post. That's it, we're done. Da-da. I did tell you it was going to be a long one, people. So, well, there you go. That is the update. That is October's update, and it's not even the end of October. But I knew there was no way that I was gonna be able to get a video up at the end of the month. So this is as close to the end of the month as I could get. Obviously, being that it's November, I'm going to be planting tulips and daffodils and lifting my dahlias at some point when the frost comes. So there will be a bit of garden activity taking place next month. But I have a sneaky suspicion that mostly I will be indoors stitching when I'm not working. So hopefully I will get some serious progress going on my stitching, since I've got so much of it now. So for any remaining footage that I've got of the stitching and knitting show, I'll put it at the end of this video. Like I said, I didn't get a lot of footage of actual designers and the stands and the stalls, purely because apparently they don't like you doing that. I don't really understand it, but you've got to respect their wishes. So thank you for hanging out with me. Thank you for sticking with me. And until next time, people, bye-bye for now. This is all knitted. You want to take up knitting now? Oh, are you taking pictures of me taking pictures? I like that one. It's so me. Look, it's pink. It's pink. Look.
Do you want to sail away with me in a life raft made of wool? Should we sail away together?
Yes, let's. In one of these life rafts.
We could sail away in a life raft, and we could go and live with Deborah in Arizona for the summer. We could stay in a life raft made of pink wool.
We could sail out to her.
We could sail to stay away together forever, stitching and living together.
Oh, here's the animals. I remember these. Oh, look at that.
Thank you very much. Thank you.